McSweeney's successor, Hannah O'Rourke, belatedly declared the donations to the EC. If we're being charitable, she may have realised with fresh eyes the severity of the situation. If we're not, she had waited until Starmer was elected as leader, 4th of April 2020, and McSweeney was well clear of LT. The Commission then opened an investigation in December 2020. This was reported by Business Insider, though at the time most media focus was on the COVID crisis. O'Rourke hired the lawyer Gerald Shamash, who had often worked for the Labour Party, to represent the group during the EC's investigation. Shamash is now a Labour peer, having been appointed by Starmer in March 2024. In the official statement to the Commission, Shamash claimed the infractions were human error and administrative oversight, that there had been absolutely no intention to fail to report. He said LT had been as open and transparent as possible. The EC were unmoved, and a month later they found LT culpable of 20 breaches and fined it £14,250. This is a high figure for such things, and in theory it could have been as large as £500,000. Interestingly, McSweeney was never mentioned in any official statement or legal representation about the oversights. It is extraordinary that the director of the group was never specifically named, even in passing. This is likely because McSweeney was now so involved with Starmer, any association with the Irishman and alleged electoral fraud would have been embarrassing. Apart from anything, Starmer was being sold as the competent grown-up, in contrast to the radical and supposedly amateurish Momentum. The whole raison d'etre for LT, in their eyes, was to professionalise the party again and make it electable. Yet here was something either massively incompetent or deliberately illegal at the heart of Project Starmer. Starmer, McSweeney and LT were fortunate that the EC did not publish a sizable report on the case. All that was released was a paragraph in their monthly update. McSweeney was no political novice, having worked for Labour since the mid-1990s, a protege of Peter Mandelson. This leads one to suspect the donations fiasco was no accident. Like Mandelson, he's also quite a control freak, so we can't really blame some spotty-faced intern. Indeed, in September 2025, documents were uncovered by a Conservative FOI request to the EC to show that in 2017, McSweeney had been explicitly told by the Commission what the rules were. It was made clear that LT counted as a members' association, and thus it had to declare donations. The first is a record of a phone call from 14th of November 2017. Mr. McSweeney was under the impression that Labour Together did not have to report because they do not campaign. However, Labour Together is a registered MA on our system. Mr. McSweeney says they are not a members' association, and so this is where the confusion started. I advised him to report the donations to us with a cover letter saying why they had not been reported sooner. In the phone call, the EC official had agreed to double-check that LT was a members' association. In an email from 12th of December 2017, they confirm it was one. They further explained the requirement and the procedures that applied. For 3 years, McSweeney continued not to declare donations regardless. This suggests either contempt for the rules or the desire to conceal funding. Further demonstrating McSweeney knew about the requirement, he actually started off by declaring donations, but then stopped in December 2017. It was then that Taylor and Chin started making a series of large payments. Taylor was giving tranches of £50,000 and Chin instalments of £12,500. In early 2018, 5 other donors gave £65,000 between them, also undeclared. One of the early donations was underreported as £18,000 when it was really £20,000. McSweeney also declared one donation on the 13th of August 2018. This was one of Chin's payments of £12,500. Perhaps doing so was a token effort to make out all was above board. Indeed, these legitimate declarations were cited by Shamash in the official response to demonstrate there was always an intention to declare donations, and that LT's leadership were unaware most of their donations were not reported. How this would have been possible is not clear. Inquiries have been made of those involved at the material time, and frankly, it was assumed that donations were being properly reported, as indeed they had been so reported up to late 2017 and early 2018. These are from my article series Don't Vote Labour Again, published on my Substack, link in description. I usually split each subject into smaller episodes. In the description, you will find links to the other episodes. You can also check out my playlist to find every single one. Please support me in my work by subscribing to this channel, subscribing free to my Substack, and by liking and sharing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon as we plumb the depths of this dreadful government.